Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Ram Prabhu, what happened? Can you not hear us?
We can hear you, Prabhuji.
Ram Prabhu not responding. Maybe he just logged in.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry. I thought today is Monday. And
No,
now
it's
I checked the calendar. It is Tuesday. I was just preparing to do something else.
oh, good job. I asked you earlier on.
Yes. Oh, today.
Prabhuji, is it all right if I mute it today? I will be listening only. Sorry.
Yes, sure, Mataji, sure.
Hare Krishna.
Um, uh, you read something from Bhagavad Gita, everybody. I will come back in literally 2 minutes, please. Okay. I need just a second. Right. Thank you for waiting for me. Mm, Let me just. Today we will. mm, we will briefly discuss from 14 because some of the regular devotees were not there last week. So we just touch base on that. Text 14, reading from text 14, the embodied spirit, master of the city of his body, which is straightforward, does not create activities, nor does he induce people to act, nor does he create the fruits of action. All this is enacted by the modes of material nature. So the question may arise whether one should be liable to the reactions of his or her action. That can be the doubt or argument based on this, which is fair. Mm, I understood that after further reading, I understood that We are helpless. Everything is done by Krishna's energy, three modes of material nature. And however, our desire is there. Material nature facilitates as per our desire. And one very good analogy is a child is trying to pick a load, let's say a bag of 20-kilo rice, and he's not able to pick. And the dad picks up the rice for the child, while also asks the child to hold the bag and lift it up, bring it to the table. You can say the load was completely picked up by the dad, which is right. And here you can also say dad has to be responsible for that action, which is right. But the action was triggered by son's intention. Son was obstinate. He wanted to do that, and that's why it happened. And another best example is buying a toy for the son. The child cries, rolls on the ground in front of everybody while passing by the supermarket, and dad has to buy the toy. You can't, yeah, without dad, that toy would not be bought. Child doesn't have money. Child would not be able to buy it, but it's a dad who did it. But was it really dad? Dad didn't want to do it, but he had to buy the toy for the child. So hope that makes clear. So that in the same way, we wanted things to happen, and Krishna's energy, three modes of material nature, facilitate. And last week we were reading a long explanation by Burijana Prabhu. I thought we just try to sum up. I said to Krishna Vani Mataji, we will continue reading from there, but it is long. So I rather briefed it in this way. And it's Krishna Vani Mataji has just joined. I will repeat. Krishna Vani Mataji, I just tried to elaborate to clear the dilemma that arose after reading text 14. And if you would like to add any points very briefly, please, please unmute yourself and then speak up. Every devotee, before you have to say something, please remember to unmute yourself. Oh, now we have Anil Prabhu, and we have Ram Prabhu, Dipti Mataji, and Krishna Vani Mataji, and myself. And Anil Prabhu, as I unmuted all just now, except Dipti Mataji and Krishna Vani Mataji. Anil Prabhu, from what point did you hear me, please?
Prabhuji, when you were, first of all, Hare Krishna to everyone. Just from the point when you are giving the example of the bag of rice.
Oh.
But I didn't hear the beginning of the example, but when you was giving the example of the bag of rice.
That's good. So you heard the key part. Before that, I was hardly saying anything. That was just to clear the dilemma that arose after reading text 14. Because text 14 says, a living entity does not create the fruits of action. All this is enacted by the modes of material nature. And who should be the responsible? Who should be responsible is answered in text 15 and text 16 as well. We read the purport of text 15, but to refresh our memory and for the benefit of devotees who were not there last week, I will just read out the text of text 15, which is nor does the Supreme Lord assume. It is continuation of text 14 actually. Text 14 ends with all this is enacted by the modes of material nature, and 15, nor does the Supreme Lord assume anyone's sinful or pious activities. So let's pause here. So the Supreme Lord does not assume anyone's sinful or pious activities. Why would he? If we make the things happen with our desire, we keep on bragging with the Lord, we keep on asking the Lord, although we don't ask directly Lord to the Lord, but we intend day and night. If we intend, we dream, we desire, we have craving, and because of that, by using our free will, there is somebody to fulfill that, and either that the Supreme Almighty Krishna fulfills it himself, or in most cases for non-devotees, his agents, three modes of material nature, fulfill it. So that's why the Supreme Lord does not assume anyone's sinful or pious activity. He is not only rejecting the reactions of our sinful activities, he also does not need the pious results we incur. If we incur, like bathing in Ganges river, if we go to Prayag, that is another pious activities. If we donate something in charity to Vaishnavas, that is pious activities. And there are so many pious activities. These mainly going to holy dhams, etc. He doesn't need that credit as well. So he doesn't assume our sinful or pious activities. Embodied beings, however, are bewildered because of the ignorance which covers their real knowledge. So this is, if there is any point to be raised from this, we will not read the purport again because we read last week, but I just repeated for the benefit of the devotees who were not there last week. And please read the purport. If there is any question, we are happy to repeat, to share next week. Please make sure you read and you raise the points, questions you may have, so we can discuss last week. Unless you have any question or any points to raise, we will move to text 16. If you have any points to raise, please unmute yourself and mention whatever you would like to say.
Prabhuji.
Yes, Ram Prabhu.
Just to be confirmed that this is not the case for the Krishna conscious person or for the devotee, for the Lord's devotee. This does not apply. Is that correct?
It applies to everybody. Even if a devotee does something good, he chants 16 rounds, becomes a devotee, the Lord doesn't assume his credit. That is benefit. That benefit is for the devotee. If a devotee commits some offenses, commits from some sinful activities, again the Lord does not assume their reactions. It is for everybody. Does that answer your question, Ram Prabhu?
Yes, of course, Prabhu. Thank you.
Anil Prabhu, you have muted, and there is
Yeah.
Before that, I just would like to make a humble request. It's not necessary, but if you would, Anil Prabhu knows how to raise hands, and everybody knows there is a, you can raise hands, and that is more clear. Thank you, Anil Prabhu. You yesterday you rose hands and you asked excellent question to His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj, and that was wonderful. So we can use the hand raise function, so we know. Thank you, Anil Prabhu. Please go ahead.
Prabhuji, it came to my mind. I don't know it is very relevant or not relevant or anything like that. But from this verse, when the Lord himself does not assume anyone's sinful or pious activity, then as a jiva, it's not relevant for us to judge anyone, and not nobody should judge anyone else, rather than everybody is between himself and the Lord.
I remembered something to be added.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
When you said that, I remember I have to add something, one point. But what you, before that, what you said is exactly right, because we should not judge. We don't know the circumstances. Today I was, talking to my son, who is not a devotee, unfortunately, so far. He is back home. I was talking to him, and I said to him, I was talking about Krishna consciousness, but the bottom fundamental subject was a verse from Bhagavad Gita. But I was talking more about CV, residence, and bad habits, good habits, like that. So if somebody would, a devotee would see that, hear that, they may say I was talking more of non-casey things. But to attract, if I bombard only philosophical things, keep on talking this law of karma, he will be bored, he will not listen. But I was using these examples. So you are absolutely right, we should not judge, but it is our weakness, our weakness of our stupid mind, we happen to judge. Thank you so much for making that point. We should not judge, actually. Krishna is the judge. But as a mentor, a mentor may make suggestions to his devotees. Krishna Vani Mataji, Krishna Purna Mataji, for example, when she saw on my sadhana chart I was not listening to my Guru Maharaj's lecture that much, she advised, can you please also listen to your Guru Maharaj's lectures? And then I started listening to that. So mentor may make suggestion without being judgmental, and Guru may make suggestion, and team leader in the service area, they may make suggestions, and whether it is judgmental or not, but we don't need to worry. Our duty is to serve them, to comply with them, to follow their instructions, advice. Yes, you are right. In general, we should not be judgmental. Like, for example, if you come 30 minutes late for the session or something like that. So is that okay, Anil Prabhu?
Excellent, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you. So we will move ahead. We are on text 16 now. Krishna Vani Mataji, would you mind reciting text 16, please? The Sanskrit word meanings and the translation.
Okay, Prabhu, I'll try. Okay, text 16. Granena tu tad agnanam yesham nasitam atmana tesham aditya vajnanam prakashyati tatparam. Okay. Gnanena, by knowledge. 2. But tat, that. Agnanam, ignorance. Yesham, whose nasitam is destroyed. Atmana, of the living entity. Tesham, there. Adityavat, like the rising sun. Gnanam, knowledge. Prakashayati, discloses. Tat Param, Krishna consciousness. Translation. When, however, one is enlightened with the knowledge by which nescience is destroyed, then this knowledge reveals everything, as the sunlight up everything in the daylight.
Mhm. Would you like to say something from here, Mataji?
Actually, Krishna is telling that, knowledge can, knowledge can remove the ignorance. As like Srila Prabhupada is giving the example, then at night is the dark, but as soon as the sun comes up, then all the darkness is removed.
Mm. Thank you. So this purport is also a little long. So let's involve three devotees to read the purport. Krishnavani Mataji, could you please read about 1/3 of this purport, and Anil Prabhu can read another 1/3, and Ram Prabhu will read the last 1/3 of the purport.
Okay. A purport by Srila Prabhupada. Those who have forgotten Krishna must certainly be bewildered. But those who are in Krishna consciousness are not bewildered at all. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita, Sarvam Gnana Plavena Gnagni Sarva Karmani, and Nahi Gnanina Sadrisham. Knowledge is always highly esteemed. And what is that knowledge? Perfect knowledge is achieved when one surrenders unto Krishna, as is said in the 7th chapter, 19th verse. Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate. After passing through many births, when one person in knowledge surrenders unto Krishna, or when attains Krishna consciousness, then everything is revealed to him, as everything is revealed by the sun in the daytime. The living entity is bewildered in so many ways. For instance, when he unceremoniously thinks himself God, he actually falls into the last snare of nescience.
Thank you so much. Would you like to briefly say something from here, Mataji? Sorry, before that, Nimisha Mataji and some devotees, whoever, Surya Prabhu, they just arrived. So we are reading the purport to text 16 of chapter 5, Bhagavad Gita.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hari
And
Bol.
we read
Thank you, Prabhu.
first 1/3. Thank you so much. First 1/3 of the purport. And Krishnavani Mataji has stopped with the last sentence was, he actually falls into the last snare of nescience. So Krishnavani Mataji, would you mind making some points from here? Just
Yes, Krishna is saying the person who has forgotten him, they get bewildered, but the devotees, in the person who is in Krishna consciousness, like he does not bewildered, because like the knowledge is like a torch, and with the knowledge they come to know this, who is God, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that's why, like here Srila Prabhupada said, knowledge is always highly esteemed, because when you get a perfect knowledge, and in this Bhagavad Gita, we can get, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we get a perfect knowledge to know who the Supreme Personality of Godhead is. And also, Srila Prabhupada explained that in 7th chapter, 19 verse, it says, Bahunam Janmanam Ante, means after many, many lifetimes, like after many, many births, people come to know or, surrender to Krishna. So, and, once, like they come into the Krishna consciousness, everything gets revealed to him. So mainly, it says that all the Vedas knowledge is to know Krishna. So when you read Bhagavad Gita and all these scriptures, the main main aim of all the knowledge is to know Krishna. And all your nescience means all your ignorance is removed when you get to proper knowledge.
Mhm. Very beautiful, Mataji. Whatever you have said is exactly what Prabhupada has written in his books and in his lectures. So you have repeated. That's very good. We are not supposed to concoct. We are supposed to repeat. Of course, it can be in different words, but it's so wonderful. You repeated, and that's wonderful. That's what we are supposed to do.
Thank you.
I was reading, going through Kirtan standards, and it is about 400 pages long. I downloaded Kirtan standard from ISKCON Desire Tree, and Prabhupada chastised some devotees because before, when they were leading Kirtan, Prabhupada heard they were saying Bhaja Hare Krishna, like that, and Prabhupada said, why are you adding Bhaja?
Mm-mm.
And in another place, Prabhupada chastised another devotee, said, Bolo Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Why are you adding Bolo? Don't start deviating. So you are simply repeating what Prabhupada said. That's wonderful, or what Prabhupada has written.
That's our duty, Prabhu, isn't it? Even in society, when you see people are changing things, like we have to stick to Srila Prabhupada's standard. So sometimes, it's what you call is the, you don't feel good, like that, like people changing. So, like over some time, what is going to happen in ISKCON if we don't stick to Srila Prabhupada's standard and the way Srila Prabhupada has taught everything, like your appearance or, like singing, as you said, there's some senior sannyasis, they're very against when, like people are, changing and the styles of, Hare Krishna mantra and stuff like that. He said, this is not Srila Prabhupada's taught, so we have to stick.
And when I was quite new, beginner in Krishna consciousness, I was fortunate to attend one program in Wembley.
Mm.
It was around 2010, I believe. And after, there was one of Prabhupada's disciples, Sannyasi Maharaj.
Mm.
I might not take his name here.
Mm.
After the kirtan was over, a devotee was leading the kirtan, and he said, Jai Jai Shri Radhe. He went like that. It's Radharani's name. But Sannyasi Maharaj said, he didn't say he was wrong. Sannyasi Maharaj said, Srila Prabhupada said that not once. That's all. These are his words. Srila Prabhupada said that not one time. And that devotee stopped. Then I learned, okay. And in another place, I read that when some devotees in Braj, they used to greet Prabhupada, Radhe Radhe, and Prabhupada would reply, Hare Krishna. Because Hare Krishna, Hare is Radharani actually. when you say Hare Krishna, you are addressing Radharani and Krishna. Hare means Hara, Mother Hara.
Yeah.
It is addressing Hara. It's a vocative case. So Hara, when addressed, it becomes Hare, and you are addressing Radharani.
Mhm.
Anyway, that's just a point. So
So, like when we hear the Kirtan Mela, there's so many, like Kirtaniyas, they also, add certain things. So it's, yeah, what can we do?
yes. Yes, now, and BBC, by the way, they told that men only following, sorry, one time men only singing, another time ladies only singing. We should not encourage that. It's only between us. If it happens in temple, we will not have the slightest question in mind, but rules are for us to follow. Rules are not um, for us to see whether other devotees have followed or not. If we are not authority, we should not worry about that. So another example is BBT, yeah, made one time men only singing, and then another time ladies only singing. Say men say Hare Krishna Maha Mantra once, and ladies say another time. Now ladies follow, now men follow. Like that, they discouraged, because we are sort of that is being in the impression of bodily platform, and BBT has, sorry, not BBT, GBC, GBC made a rule on that. But if some devotees do, then we have to honor it. We have to obey it.
Yeah, I have not come across that, Prabhu, but yeah, because the main rule is Kirtan here. Whoever is singing, they sing and everybody else follow.
Yes.
That is the rule. And main thing is nice that, like our temple authority, I don't know who, but that, the Vaishnav etiquette book is really nice book. So then if then everybody follows the same standard, because, like GBC or ISKCON, they have noticed that some people are not following properly, or, like beginners, they don't know, but if nobody corrects them or nobody tell them, then people do whatever the way they want to do. But it's nice to follow etiquette as well. So then everybody, it's uniform, everybody does.
And one thing is obvious, natural. It's a big society. Like in a country, there could be some little bit leniency, and in the same way within ISKCON there can be leniency for the sake of Krishna, which is okay. Unknowingly, devotee may slack or slightly lack in some ways, and GBC, we are fortunate that GBC is there to remind us, to watch us, to tell us.
What I found, Srila Prabhupada, the way, when I see all these European ladies, devotees, when they join, they, so pakka, like the way they dress and everything, like they'll cover their hair and everything, so nicely. And also Srila Prabhupada's disciples. But, like nowadays, sometimes some people, they don't follow. And men started, like keeping the beards and everything. Srila Prabhupada, I don't think he will agree, because he believe in thinking. So,
all right.
As you say, we don't say anything, but these are, like we've seen that, like there are some changes going on. So after a long time, I don't know what's going to happen. If they don't stick to it, there will be, everything will be changed.
Although this point is not directly related to our purport, as you said, my humble comment would be, after a long time, ISKCON, only one thing going to happen is ISKCON is going to flourish and flourish for 10,000 years, because Prabhupada's words are there. Prabhupada's books are powerful bombs. They don't destroy, they transform us. And Prabhupada's disciples, grand disciples, they will be more capable, like we have already seen. And for at least another 10,000 years of Kali Yuga, as said in by devotees, ISKCON will flourish. Although there could be some one or two elements that is natural, but we have to be positive, and we have to be very hopeful, and we have to believe, and it is ISKCON is going to flourish, and Krishna whole world will be inundated with Krishna consciousness. And like 60 years ago, it was an imagination, whole world would come to Mayapur. Now when we go to Mayapur, not only in Gaura Purnima time, 365 days a year, except this lockdown period, every day that big hall is full of international devotees. Mayapur is so busy, so is Vrindavan. Nobody had imagined 60, 70 years ago. They would feel that it is a fable, it is an imaginary story. But now it is reality. In the same way, the whole world is going to be inundated with the holy name, Krishna consciousness, at least for 10,000 years. Beyond that, we don't know. Up to 10,000 years, why we know? Because Prabhupada has said that. It is golden age of Kali Yuga. So, although there are minor little bit that, but main thing is, main motive is the devotees are in Krishna consciousness. They are trying to improve, and they are gradually coming out of the bodily concept of life, and they are chanting, and it's only positive things going to happen, Mataji, definitely, for 10,000.
So I see, this COVID is also, like these are all Krishna's plans, or Lord Chaitanya's plan, that because of this lockdown and everything, so many people are, joining online, and, they are getting, Krishna consciousness. So the holy name is spreading, although, we all are locked down. So this, I was also thinking these are all Krishna's plan, or Lord Chaitanya's plan, that his glory is going to reach everyone.
Yes, definitely. We can say from at least 2-3 different viewpoints, but I think I will not say any further. Please forgive me. But whatever you said, I do not disagree. I agree completely. Thank you so much, Mataji. And we will, if that's okay, Anil Prabhu will read another 1/3, and Ram Prabhu will read the last 1/3, as we said before, if that's okay.
Hare
So,
Krishna Prabhuji, thank you for allowing me. If a living entity is God, then how can he become bewildered with the nescience? Does God become bewildered with nescience? If so, then nescience or shaitan is greater than God. Real knowledge can be obtained from the person who is in perfect Krishna consciousness. Therefore, one has to seek out such a bona fide spiritual master and under him learn what Krishna consciousness is. For Krishna consciousness will certainly drive away all nescience as the sun drives away darkness. Even though a person may be in full knowledge that he is not this body but the transcendental to the body, he still may not be able to discriminate between the soul and the super soul. However, he can know everything well if he cares to take shelter of the perfect, bona fide Krishna conscious spiritual master.
thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu.
Maybe the rest Ram Prabhu will read. Anil Prabhu, from this bit, Is there any point you wanted to mention?
Yeah, here basically it's very clear. It's told that the difference between the jiva and the super soul, because a jiva or a living entity cannot and should not claim that he's God, or because they get bewildered from the nescience. But the God is greater than everything, and everything emits from the God, and God is never bewildered from this nescience, and is overall everything. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Exactly. If I say I'm God and I get bewildered, that means what kind of God am I? Is the God bigger than the sorry? Is God smaller than nescience or nescience? Then if something else is greater than God, that God is not God.
Of course, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
And about taking shelter, I would like to mention a point of a guru. I'd like to mention a point. One of Prabhupada's disciple, he gave very beautiful analogy or statement. He said that he was referring to some people supposing one of the senior devotees as guru without being initiated. So, like we are here today, one could regard Srila Prabhupada as guru. That way, of course, he is Siksha Guru. Of course, everybody could be Siksha Guru, but they regard Srila Prabhupada or whoever you pick. Let's say somebody picks His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj as Guru without him giving initiation, just picks him as Guru. And he doesn't intend to take initiation, but worships the picture, he brings the picture, listens to the lecture, regards him as Guru, and wholeheartedly becomes his disciple. About this, one of Prabhupada's disciple, His Holiness Sankarshan Das Adhikari, he is a Grihastha disciple. He said that if you can make anybody guru like that, why not make your guru directly Krishna, your guru, from your behalf, take initiation from Krishna, so that because Krishna taught Lord Brahma, and your god brother will be Lord Brahma, who is the chief of this material world. So you are directly in that level. Your god brother is Lord Brahma, and he said that way doesn't work. You can't just accept a guru in one way. The guru also has to accept. So accepting bona fide spiritual master is important. So the rest, unless somebody has any point from this bit, Ram Prabhu, would you mind reading the rest of the purport?
Prabhu, can I ask you a question, please?
Yes, sure, Prabhu.
Just if you don't mind, just like I'm also learning, but you mentioned about taking a guru like Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj, which is quite interesting concept. But actually, in today's Bhagavatam class, they were saying we just go by the Shastras and all that, Guru and Shastras and all that. And then we have the principle of the Eklavya Sishya in the Shastras, where Eklavya learned a lot.
Very good, very good.
And I'm thinking, I read the Jagannath Swami book, Prabhu, the Jagannath Pastimes book. Most of them are really, really, really devoted, highly, highly devoted, and they give everything to Krishna. And so maybe there's a different state of mind that some devotees are at a much higher level. I don't know.
Eklavya example is very good. Although he learned, learning is one thing, being successful is another thing. Eklavya failed. So he eventually failed. He learned, and because of that learning, it became a curse for him. He had to lose a finger. One of the key fingers he lost. So Eklavya failed because he accepted Guru himself without Guru's acceptance, without Guru's permission. So that is not bona fide way of accepting Guru. So what's the point of the education or learning Vidya if you cannot use that Vidya never ever again, or that Vidya becomes the kind of curse on you. He had to lose a finger. And about Lord Jagannath's devotees, that anybody, it is said that anybody who is born in the Holy Dham, they are liberated souls. And every Basinda who lives in Jagannath Puri, we may see them as dog, man, two-legged, women, man, bird, like that when we go. But demigods see them in their transcendental form. See them means the Vasindas, the residents in Jagannath Chhatra, Shri Chhatra, Jagannath Puri. They see them in their transcendental form, demigods. All the demigods see them, all the residents of Jagannath Puri, as in four hands, which is similar to Lord Narayan. I mean, the roop is similar. The roop, their form is similar to Lord Narayan. They see them in four-handed forms. So it's like that. So we can't talk about the residents of Jagannath Puri. What I'm talking about is in the example like Eklavya. In general practice, Guru, you have to choose a Guru, and Guru has to approve you. It is a two-way relationship, making a Guru. It's like getting married. Normally, getting married is two-way thing. Although in the scriptures in the past, there are Gandharva Vivaha and so many types of Vivaha. You can kidnap a lady and make her your wife if you have power. That is Kshatriya power. That is different. But generally, getting married is two-way. It is based on mutual agreement of both parties. So it is a general. Is that okay, Surya Prabhu?
Yeah, it's helpful, Prabhu. I learned a little bit more about Jagannath devotees. So thank you.
So you raised very good points. Thank you so much. So next is Ram Prabhu. If you do not mind, could you read?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu, I'll start. One can know God and one's relationship with God only when one actually meets a representative of God. A representative of God never claims that he is God, although he is paid all respect ordinarily paid to God because he has knowledge of God. One has to learn distinction between God and the living entity. Lord Sri Krishna therefore stated in the second chapter 2.12 that every living being is individual and that the Lord also is individual. They were all individuals in the past, they are individuals at present, and they will continue to be individuals in the future, even after liberation. At night, we see everything as one in the darkness, but in the daytime, when the sun is up, we see everything in its real identity. Identity with individuality in spiritual life is real knowledge.
Thank you so much.
Yes, Prabhu.
Is there any point you would like to make from here, Ram Prabhu?
I'll try, Prabhu. So we should know God and our relationship with God. And when we actually meet the representative of the God, we should know the God and the relationship with the God, and we can know it only by the by meeting with the representative of the God, that who is the spiritual master, and we all are the individual souls, and we have our own identity. And Lord Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita Chapter 12, 2.12, verse 12, he states that we all have the individual identity. It was in the past, it exists now, and it will be in the future as well. And even after the liberation. And Prabhupada gives here the analogy that in the darkness, all things can be seen as one, but in the daylight, everything has its own identity, individual identity. So in the same way, every individual soul has its individuality or its individual identity, which was in the past, it's in the present, and in the future after liberation as well. That's it, Prabhu.
Thank you so much. That's wonderful. Just one example Prabhupada gives in his lectures and books is one more example, although it may not be necessary. Prabhupada gives one example. Suppose you are watching a mountain from the distance of 50 miles, for example. Mountain is so high, it is visible from the distance of 50 miles or so. And when you watch that mountain, you only see the green trees, only green trees, nothing. If you go little nearer, much nearer, you will see houses. Oh, there are houses as well. If you go even further, you will see individual beings there. So it depends on, in the same way as you said, when it is darkness, you see everything one. There is no variety, there is nothing, no other elements. But when sunlight comes, with the help of sunlight, you see many different entities, varieties like that. And if somebody would like to, is not able to talk or something, you can also type questions. Due to some sore throat or not in a situation where they can talk, they can also text the question through chat. And now we will move to 17. Anil Prabhu has unmuted. Is there something you wanted to say?
No, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, you made the point very clear.
Yes.
It's wonderful.
Yes.
God is in the heart of every living entity, but the living entity is not in the heart of any other living entity. So that is also one of the difference. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. So Nimisha Mataji, could you please, are you okay to recite the Sanskrit and read out the word meanings and the translation? And Surya Prabhu will read the purport of 17.
Again, am I just reading the sloka first?
Yes, shloka and word meanings and the translation, please.
Okay. So it's Bhagavad Gita 5.17. Tat buddhayastad atmanas tad nisthas tat parayana gachanti apurnar avratim gnana nirvaduta kalmasa. Okay, so the word meaning, Tat Buddha, those whose intelligence is always in the Supreme. Tad Atmana, those whose minds are always in Supreme. Tat Nisthatha, those whose faith is only meant for the Supreme. Tat Parayana, who have completely taken shelter of Him. Gachyanti, go. Apuna Avritim, to liberation. Gnana, by knowledge. Nirduta, cleansed. Kalmasa, misgivings. The translation, When one's intelligence, mind, faith, and refuge are all fixed in the Supreme, then one becomes fully cleansed of misgivings through complete knowledge and thus proceeds straight onto the path of liberation.
Thank you. Would you like to say 1 or 2 points from here, Mataji?
Prabhupada, in this verse is all about when one is fixed by his intelligence, his faith, and he takes a complete shelter of the Supreme. So by saying just by having the knowledge, one should also use the intelligence and fix the mind on the Supreme. Then one becomes fully cleansed. That's how the purification comes in place. It helps to take the decisions that guides one towards the Krishna consciousness with the knowledge and intelligence. That's what I have understood, which would lead to the path of liberation.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, Surya Prabhu, are you okay? If you read half of this purport, I'll read half of the other half, if that's okay.
Sure, Prabhu. The supreme transcendental truth is Lord Krishna. The whole Bhagavad Gita centers around the declaration that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. That is the version of all Vedic literature. Paratattva means the supreme reality who is understood by the knowers of the Supreme as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Bhagavan, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the last word in the Absolute.
Surya Prabhu, sorry, did you understand this sentence? Sorry, I'm just asking, please forgive me. Is this sentence clear to us, to you?
Prabhu, to be honest, when I read the translation, the meaning, when one's intelligence, mind, faith, and refuge are all fixed in the Supreme, I was thinking, wow, it's a very powerful verse, and it just took me to another level, Prabhu.
Yes, definitely.
And then Bhagavan, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the last word in the Absolute. There's nothing more than that. That for me is everything, Prabhu.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. Please go ahead and read at least about one more sentence.
The Lord says, Matha Parataram Nanyat Kinchid Asti Dhananjaya. Impersonal Brahman is also supported by Krishna. Brahmano hi Paristitam.
Pratisthaham.
Pratisthaham. Therefore, in all ways, Krishna is the supreme reality.
Thank you so much. Okay. Did you want to make any points from this bit, Prabhu, Surya Prabhu?
Lord Krishna is everything, Prabhu.
Oh, that's excellent.
That's what Prabhupada is saying. I don't have anything to add. That's for me is everything.
That's great. And Prabhupada has referred to 7.7, which is in 7.7, Krishna says, O conqueror of wealth, there is no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. So I'll read the rest. Therefore, in all ways, Krishna is the supreme reality, as Surya Prabhu already said. One whose mind, intelligence, faith, and refuge are always in Krishna, or in other words, one who is fully in Krishna consciousness is undoubtedly washed clean of all misgivings and is in perfect knowledge in everything concerning transcendence. So it is clear a Krishna conscious person can thoroughly understand that there is duality, simultaneous identity and individuality in Krishna, simultaneous identity and individuality in Krishna, and equipped with such transcendental knowledge, one can make steady progress on the path of liberation. So, is there any doubt, any question from here? Anil Prabhu, did you want to say something?
No, Prabhuji, sorry, I'm unmuted unintentionally. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's all right. So,
Prabhuji,
yes, Ram Prabhu.
yeah, in the last sentence, could you little bit elaborate? A Krishna conscious person, yeah, can thoroughly understand, yeah.
A Krishna conscious person can thoroughly understand that there is duality,
Yes.
simultaneous, at the same time, identity and individuality.
Yeah.
Krishna has the identity, he is a person, and individuality. So Krishna is not just a power, he is not just the light, as some people think. Krishna is only effulgence, Brahma effulgence, or light or power. Not like that. That power, Krishna is the source of every energy, every kind of energy. So Krishna is it's an identity and individuality. Every individual and one individual, individuality means one individual has to be different from another individual. Krishna is one individual and we are another individual. So that is Krishna. That's why there is duality, means duality in terms of that Krishna has identity and individuality. Is that okay for Ram Prabhu and everybody?
Yeah, still, Prabhu, Krishna has identity. What should we exactly understand by this? Krishna has identity.
Let's take it in a simple way. When we ask for your identity, means what's your name, where do you live, what's your occupation, and what's your nature, what's your likes and dislikes. These are all within identity, isn't it? So in the same way, we know what is God's name, what is God's address, what he likes, what he doesn't like. We all know these come under identity.
Okay.
And before that, earlier Anil Prabhu reminded me at the very beginning, but I forgot what he reminded me. I forgot to mention. I want to mention now. Sorry, it is memory jumps from one point to another. I just remember about that. Krishna, Ram Prabhu asked the question whether that previous verse applies to non-devotees only, and I said yes, for everybody. But one thing also true, that for devotees, if you want to do devotional service, Krishna will guide you, Krishna will make it easier for you, Krishna will provide you opportunity, and if you want to become a devotee, Krishna will nullify your sins, Krishna will make it easier for you. So Krishna, it is his mercy. And if you want to serve, if you want a guru, for example, Krishna will send you guru. So in these ways, although Krishna doesn't take Krishna does not assume our sin or pious credits, but for devotees, Krishna arranges himself. Krishna directly takes charge of the devotees. That's the point I wanted to mention, but I forgot. I'm saying this now. I think now we have Krishna Vani Mataji and Dipti Mataji, they want to say something. Maybe Dipti Mataji first.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you. Thank you for the lovely class and discussion. I was just listening because I couldn't speak that time and didn't wanted to disturb you lot. as Ram Prabhu said, I am also confused with the simultaneous identity, the last sentence. So you say you tried and explain that Krishna has identity like name and stuff, but that's individuality as well. So what is identity and individuality?
Yes, very good question. Very good question. I will try to explain. Individuality is your nature, your characteristics are different from another person's characteristics. So let me give you simple, easy example. The individuality of Lord Krishna is different from the individuality of Lord Shiva and Lord Durga, sorry, Goddess Durga, again, different from Lord Krishna's individuality. So even a son comes from the father. Father has his own identity and his individuality. Father likes chapati, son likes paratha. Simple example. We have individuality, and father has his own taste characteristics. Although they all father use his own taste, mood, and characteristics for serving Krishna. Son also can do the same, but there is individuality. We all have children, and we can see how much difference is there between us and children. They assume some of the characters. Their nose is also like that. Their physical appearance can be like us, but their character is completely different. Two children given birth by same parents, one children has one attitude and character. One child wants to be a doctor, another child wants to be a dancer. So it's like that. So that's individuality. Is that clear, Dipti Mataji? Is that helpful?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you.
And now Krishnavani Mataji, she has a raised hand. Let me unmute her. Mataji, I have unmuted. Yeah, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Like as Ram Prabhu and Dipti Mataji was asking about simultaneously identity and individuality.
Yes.
I was thinking like because we are part and parcel of Krishna, so as like Krishna individually, Krishna is full, and and we are part and parcel of Krishna. So is that, or is it different? That's what I was thinking.
It is not, this sentence is not referring to us being, yes, we are part and parcel of Krishna, but this sentence is referring to two elements of Krishna, identity and individuality. However, every living entity also has identity and individuality. And one common identity of us is Jivera Swarupa Haya Krishna Nitya Das. The eternal occupation of living entity is to serve Krishna. That is the common identity of us. But more or less, every living entity has identity and individuality. Individuality, absolutely every living entity has individuality. One likes to serve Krishna in the spiritual world. One likes to become flute. One likes to become peacock fan. One likes to become Baijanti Mala, for example. One likes to serve Krishna making garlands. That is individuality. One likes to cook. One likes to dance. One likes to sing. These are individuality. Does that, I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, true. And also as like nature as well. Nature comes in there, individuality, because everybody's nature are also different.
Yes and no.
Okay.
Because our nature is influenced by the external surroundings. Sometimes, most of the times even, a child who is very religious in the childhood, later on, he or she, I have seen this, Their nature, they were born religious, they went, followed parents to the temple. But later on, the external situations influenced their nature. They became atheist. When you mention, even ask them to go to temple, they don't listen. This is example. So
Yes.
nature can change. Our
Exactly.
nature can change
Nature, right?
based on our external situation. But our eternal nature, which is everybody has loving propensity, that is identity, or that remains same. So there are fundamental nature, and there is fundamental nature as a jiva, and there is nature that is cultivated, influenced by the external elements. Is that correct, Mataji?
Okay, yeah, thank you very much for clarifying.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, every devotee. Please accept my humble obeisances.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for a nice
Hare
class.
Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji. Thank
Hare
you.
Thank you so much.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Bo.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Bol.
Hare Krishna.